Denny Hamlin.
Oh.
You know, we talked about it. Like, he had in front of him an opportunity to create, in my opinion, a career-defining moment. He can close that off this weekend, but it had to start this week. He got behind, was able to overcome it. I was extremely impressed, you know, in him just being able to put all the stuff behind him, that last restart, make it happen, and just go take the race.
Yeah, I get so excited about sports and people and competitors that step up in huge moments. You take people that have amazing skills and do extraordinary things. And that's exactly what we saw Denny Hamlin and his team do yesterday, in my opinion, that they knew what they had to go do. And from the time they unloaded that car on Friday in Phoenix and took to the racetrack the first time, Denny Hamlin served notice, I'm the guy to beat here. I know I have to win this race. And he went out and did everything that you would want a driver to do, and even a little bit more.
I said it yesterday, and I thought about it overnight and throughout the day, that this is, in my mind, hands down the biggest win of Denny Hamlin's career. And I'm not discounting his 2 Daytona 500s. You've won them. I've been fortunate enough to win the Daytona 500. That race,
I'll sit over
in my mind, well, I'm just saying, Daytona 500 is bigger than anything else.
Yeah.
And people who don't think it are wrong. It's the biggest thing. Yet, a race in Phoenix was more valuable to Denny Hamlin because of the circumstances. Yeah. If he would have come in at plus 24 and won in Phoenix, I'd say, it was a good race. I mean, he ran good. But he made a mistake in Texas. Self-admittedly, crashed, went through the grass tore the nose off the car. There were so many chances for him to add all these excuses into his quotes. Well, the sticky stuff was slippery, the grass tore up my car. He said none of that. From last Sunday, a week ago Sunday, he said, I made a mistake. If it's going to take a win at Phoenix, we're going to win. Everything out of his mouth was confident and to the point. And that's what I saw, you mentioned when they unloaded. It started on Friday. You talk about confidence. That car went out in practice. It was great. It continued through the race. But, guys, it was like an average race until that final stage. When they dropped the green in the final stage, it's like he found a little bit extra on the seatbelts, and he was unbelievable.
It's crazy. He got out by, he was out by half a lap on second place.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a half a lap. I mean, I was shocked. I looked down, and he's right in front of us, and Kyle Busch is directly in front of us, but on the other end of the racetrack. It's a half a lap on Kyle Busch at Phoenix, where he's won the last 2.
Yes.
And that's a dominating performance.
Yeah, and he passed the leader of the race, Joey Logano, who looked like he had a strong car, and admittedly, something happened in there. You know, whether it was their setup, a little adjustment they made, a set of tires that just didn't agree with him. But, I mean, he passed Joey Logano and then lapped him on the racetrack with, no help of anything else going along the way. So it was just amazing to see how precise he was and could pass the cars wherever he wanted to, whatever he needed to do, he made it work.
Chris Gabehart, the comment that we heard that Chris Gabehart called Denny Hamlin after Denny Hamlin went to the media center and said, you know what, not winning a championship's not going to define our career. And Chris Gabehart did, whoa. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Like, quit saying that. That is leadership. Mm-hmm. And not that Denny Hamlin had quit, not that Denny Hamlin wasn't coming to Phoenix, but Chris Gabehart first-year crew chief, calling Denny Hamlin saying, look, yes, don't say that anymore. I don't want to hear you say that anymore. We're not going to have built-in excuses. We're not going to already say it's okay if it doesn't happen. I love that. I love that coming from a first-year crew chief. I just think that team, that Denny Hamlin, a Chris Gabehart team, those two believe in each other. And I think, more importantly, they're allowed each other to push each other.
Yes.
Some crew chiefs get upset when the driver pushes, or the driver gets upset when the crew chief pushes. These two seem to thrive on it.
Yeah, Denny talked about this early in the year after they won the Daytona 500, and then they started having some more success, how much Chris had meant to him and to this race team in particular, and got him focused again. And you expect drivers to say that, and we've seen it over the years. I mean, look at Chad Canals with Jimmy Johnson, the difference he made there. You with Dale Jr. and the difference that you made there. Things that you had to do. Not only giving good race cars, but you have to be there for that support. And whenever they're not thinking the right things, you have to help guide them and get them in the right direction. And, we can talk about great drivers over the years that had tremendous careers, Hall of Fame careers. Mark Martin comes to my thoughts right now in that he didn't win that championship. He gave everything he had, did everything but that. But that does define. You win that championship, that sets you apart. And that's the mindset that you have to have, especially in this format.
Well, and it was anything but straightforward. While they had a great car and they had a 12-second lead, we all knew it just didn't feel like it could possibly run out, right?
Yeah.
Like, it had to happen. The yellow had to come out. And I'm going to give credit NASCAR, actually. We saw a flat tire, no yellow. We saw another car lose power, no yellow. I thought NASCAR actually did a wonderful job. I'm the first guy here to say they need to officiate the race better. Well, today I'm going to be the guy that says they did a great job of officiating the race as it fell. 36 hits the fence. My qualification of a yellow is if it happens 10 laps into the race, do we throw a yellow? And I, without a doubt, say yes. That's a yellow all day in every race at Phoenix. The yellow comes out, but then it's decision time for Denny Hamlin and Chris Gabehart and the 11 car. And I was the first guy to say they decided to take 2 tires. I didn't like anything about the call, but the crew chief had a plan, and he stuck with the plan.
That's what it seemed like to me. In his post-race interview,
yes,
he was pretty clear. It seemed like that he has a team, they had a plan going in, and he was going to stick to it. Made me nervous.
Oh,
made me really nervous.
Yeah, I mean, you take the best race car and put it in this situation. I mean, what are you going to do? Why are you doing this?
Right.
Because you had plenty of time, it looked like, to change 4 and still get out in front of everybody.
Well, let's hear what Chris Gabehart had to say, because that was a big moment in the race.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, golly, if you ain't questioning it, you ain't breathing, right? This is the playoffs on the biggest stage, trying to get Denny Hamlin and FedEx in the playoffs. Of course you are, but again, control the restart. And my race team just executes so well. I mean, I ain't going to get into it, but we got to play for every scenario. And you saw a play right there, and we're going to Homestead.
I didn't know what he was doing, to be honest with you, and I think that he tried to get some confirmation from our teammates, and we didn't really get too much confirmation for what we had. But I knew that I was just going to drive as hard as I could, no matter what the call was. I mean, we had a meeting in our hauler. We haven't had a meeting all year. I haven't had a meeting in the hauler with the team in years. But he says, I'm likely, and it's possible that I'm going to make the wrong call, and it's going to cost us a chance to go to Homestead. But we're in this together.
That was a serious heartache.
You were questioning me quite a bit, weren't you?
I went to my knees on that one because I knew exactly. I saw all of a sudden Chris took 2, and then Kyle sitting there with 4. I said, this could be a mess.
So first I want to say that on air I disagreed with the call, and there's a reason. I did this. Las Vegas, I'm not going to give the details, took 2, should have took 4, got beat at the end of that race. The reason I thought that he should have took 4 was the gap coming to pit road, all the lap cars. I thought he had some security, could have took 4 tires and came out, if not the leader, second. What I didn't do, and what I wish I was smart enough to come up with at the moment, is how much value he put in controlling the restart. So I did it. From the TV booth, I said, man, 4 laps or 3 laps, you got to have the 4 tires. I questioned it. Chris Gabehart had a plan, and most importantly, stuck with it and then answered the question. He didn't deflect it. He said, hey, yeah, my heart was beating. Are you crazy? This is the moment. This is the biggest moment, which I love some human response. But you see the gap back to the 21, right? Or excuse me, the 12 right there. I question if he couldn't have put on left side tires or anywhere, but it didn't matter. The 2 tires worked. He had information from what everyone else was going to do. And more importantly, and you said it, Denny Hamlin didn't question it. He had questions in the back of his mind, but he wanted to control the race. So that's, I think, the moment I didn't give credit. I didn't say, you know what, controlling the race wasn't a priority to me. It obviously was a priority to Gabehart. If you go back to Martinsville, as soon as they lost control of the race, they lost the race. Maybe he had fear that if you give anyone else the restart, we have seen guys on the inside of the front row struggle.
So we talk about winning a championship. And I believe at no time ever in the sport have drivers been under this much pressure.
Yeah.
Right? If you think about this format, you go into a 3-race format, you have to advance through, goes on for three sessions of that, and then the championship. We've never been in a situation where drivers, crew chiefs, tire changers have had this kind of pressure. And I think it makes these moments. It makes these moments where the opportunity is out there. And I'll speak for me. I didn't know that Denny had it in him. He hadn't shown me that he had it in him to be able to take that big moment. I thought he was there, but in the past, I don't think he had been. And yesterday confirmed it to me, which means nothing. But I think what's most important is it confirmed it to him.
Right.
And so now he goes to Homestead, and he's racing 3 guys that have won championships in this format. 1 race, they went and took the win. Think about how all 3 of those guys won. They went and took it. He'd never been there. In my eyes, he got there yesterday. So he now has that experience that he can take to Homestead. I know it's not a championship, but it's the exact same pressure in trying to be there for Miami.
There's a word I keep coming back to, and you mentioned right at the start that you love sports. because of the platform, the pressure, and the delivery of stars. Whether you like Denny Hamlin or not, whether he's your type of driver or not, he has something that stars have. He has swagger. He has Michael Jordan-type swagger, Charles Barkley-type swagger, Phil Mickelson-type swagger. He is going to tell you about his plane. He's going to take a picture of his plane. He's going to tell you about the house he stayed at in Scottsdale. He's going to act like a sports superstar. Some people don't like it. They prefer Ryan Blaney or someone who's a little quiet, and that's fine. But I think NASCAR kind of needs this, and guess what makes a big star bigger? Performing.
Yes.
Right? It's great, right? It's great to
up.
think you're good, but you got to back it up. And this was the biggest moment, and he backed it up. That, to me, defines all of the stuff he talks about, gives it credibility.
And Chris Gabehart did the same thing. And he almost went back to Coach Gibbs and saying, we had a playbook. This was the play that we had planned for this time. And then telling his team before that race, hey, I might make a call that costs us. As a driver, I'm okay with that. Take your chance. You're watching the race. Just give me the best opportunity you can. He did that, put the confidence in his driver, and his driver delivered. Can't beat that.
The interview with Chris when he said, we had a play and we stuck with it was almost like,
I told you. Oh, yeah.
I told you I was going to do it.
That's right.
It was awesome, man. Hey, that's what you said it. That's what sports are about. That's why we love to watch, and that's why these playoffs are better and they're more exciting.
Hey, Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.